Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy, and I'm going to be showing off my Marvel movie collection. First I have Daredevil vs. Spider-Man. It's not really a movie, it's like 3 or 4 episodes of the Spider-Man, the animated series from the 90s. And it does have like 1 episode of the 1966 animated series as well. I thought that was really cool and everything. And then I've got another video from Spider-Man the Animated Series, the Ultimate Hero Showdown, or Villain Showdown. It has some pretty good episodes too, and also features an episode from the 1960s animated series. It's a really good episodes, and everything. I love this series. I really wish that I could get the complete series, and eventually I plan on trying to. Then we've got Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. It's really the one that really started getting me into the superhero movies genre and everything, and really just getting me into Marvel and everything, and it's just one of my favorite movies. Then I've got my favorite superhero movie of all time, Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi. It's one of my favorites. I watch it I watch the Raimi trilogy at least once every few years. Then I've got Spider-Man 2.1, which is the extended version of Spider-Man 2, and I personally like this cut better than the original. It has some added scenes. They're not really anything that are that big of a deal, but to the story or anything. But I just like it better, especially the scene where there's a scene with J. Jonah Jameson putting on the Spider-Man suit and everything after it gets turned into him, and him pretending to be Spider-Man. And I thought that was cool. And then Spider-Man 3, which most people hate. I don't hate it personally. I actually like it quite a bit. It's my least favorite of the Raimi trilogy, but I still do love it. I think it's a good movie. And the one that my newest addition to my collection, I just got this today, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I absolutely love this movie when I saw it in the theater. I haven't seen it since then, so I'm looking forward to watching it again later tonight. But yeah, I just got this today. My other newest addition to my Marvel collection, Venom. It's not part of the MCU or anything like that, but it's still a good movie. I think it's kind of slow at the beginning, but all in all, I enjoyed it for the most part. Then I got my 2 least favorite Marvel movies. 2 of my least favorite. Well, I wouldn't say they're my very least favorite, but 2 of my very least favorites. The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. I actually keep this with my Emma Stone collection. Same with The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually like this one a little bit more than the first one. This one was, to me, was kind of enjoyable and everything, but I'm not really big on the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I mainly have them just to go with my collections. Then I got another movie that I know a lot of people don't like it. It's kind of a so bad it's good movie, but Howard the Duck. I saw this movie for the first time a few months ago, and I thought it was hilarious. I can get why people didn't like it and everything, because it is really cheesy and stuff, but I like the 80s cheesy movies and stuff, so I enjoy this one quite a bit. And it was the very first movie based on a Marvel property that got a theatrical release, I believe. If I could be wrong. I think there were some serials back in the 40s of Captain America and stuff. I don't have those, but it's like the first theatrical movie. And then I've got Blade 4-pack that has the first 3 Blade movies, and the Blade TV show. I haven't actually seen any of these yet. There are ones that I need to watch, but I've seen parts of them, but never the full movies. I just haven't gotten around to watching them yet. I'll probably get around to watching them before too long. My friend Logan Briscoe asked me to watch them and review them on my channel, so I'll probably be reviewing those before too long. And I've got Daredevil, the theatrical cut. I think this movie was pretty good. It's not one of my most favorites, but I think it was better than most people say. And I recently got Daredevil, the rated R cut, and I still haven't watched it yet. I've been another one of the ones I need to watch and everything. And I plan on watching it sometime before too long. Everything, I may do reviews for the PG-13 version and this version on my channel, maybe. We'll think about that. Then there's Elektra. I think this movie is pretty underrated. I don't think it's as bad as most people say it is. It's not extremely great movie and everything. Of course, I don't know too much about the Elektra character, so it could be way off, and I just don't really know because I haven't. I'm be lying if I said that I know a lot about a lot of these comic books and stuff. Some of them I do, and some of them I don't. And I think Elektra's alright, though. And then one of my other ones that I think is most underrated, 2003's Hulk with Eric Bana. I think this one was one of the most underrated ones. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was more character driven, and they focused more on the characters and the action and stuff. And when I was younger, I didn't like that very much, but now that I'm older, I appreciate it a lot more and everything. And this movie also kind of has a special place in my heart because it was the last movie that my grandma took me to see in the movie theater before she passed away a few months later. Then there's one that the very first Marvel movie I ever saw was X-Men. I love this movie. To me, it still holds up pretty well today, and everything. Is still in my top 3 or 4 favorite X-Men movies. When I rank the franchise and stuff, it's still in the top. And my favorite X-Men movie, X2. On the case it says X-Men United, but it's just really called X2. But I like this movie quite a bit. It was the first X-Men movie I saw in the movie theater, and still my favorite one out of the ones I've seen. Or actually, I've seen all of them, so I mean, it's just my favorite one. Then there's X-Men: The Last Stand. I was disappointed with this movie when I saw it the first time. I thought it was good, but I thought it could have been a whole lot better and everything. I do like it a little more now than I did when it first came out, but it's just still not one of my favorites. Then I've got X-Men Origins Wolverine. I know a lot of people hate this movie, and I actually don't hate it. There are things that I don't like about it, though, like them sewing Deadpool's mouth shut and introducing him in a PG-13 X-Men movie. I think was a stupid idea and everything, but it led us to the Deadpool we have with Ryan Reynolds nowadays, so I guess I can't complain too much. But this movie isn't one of my very most favorites, but also if we didn't have the Deadpool with his mouth sewn shut and stuff in this movie, we wouldn't have had that awesome end credit scene at the end of Deadpool 2. So also there's another good positive about that. But yeah, I think Wolverine's origin story was pretty interesting. I think it could have been better, and I think it would have been better if it was rated R, but it was still a good movie, or good enough movie. I mean, I won't say it was a great movie though. And then there's X-Men First Class. This movie really impressed me when it first came out. I went into it not expecting to like it very much. I didn't like it. I thought it was going to be like a total reboot. It somewhat was, but it's also kind of a prequel too, And I thought it turned out to be really good, though. I was really surprised by it. I didn't expect that James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender would be as good at playing Magneto and Xavier as Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart was, but I think they did a good job. Then there's the Wolverine. Another one that's not one of my most favorites. I actually like it more every time I watch it, though. And like X-Men Origins Wolverine, I think the R rating would have made the movie a lot better. And I heard there is an R-rated version that I haven't seen yet. I'd like to see it eventually. Next is X-Men Days of Future Past. Love this, or, well, don't love it. I like it. I was disappointed with this one. But it is still a pretty good movie. I know a lot of people say it's their favorite one, but I like that it brings the two X-Men trilogies together and everything. I like that about it, and it's just not my most favorite though. And then the first Deadpool. Really like this movie a lot. I've seen it many times. I always enjoy watching it. And everything. Then the one that I think is the most underrated out of the X-Men franchise, X-Men Apocalypse. I don't know hardly anybody that liked this one, but I absolutely loved it. Once again, I'm not too familiar with the comics. I know that's probably why a lot of people didn't like it, is because comic accuracy, I think. But I enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was a lot better than Days of Future Past. It was actually probably one of my higher ones in the ranking. Then next is Logan, one of my most favorites. This one's one of my most favorite superhero movies of all time. Just great movie, wonderful action. The R rating really paid off. And it was a good send off for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and everything. I remember going into the theater and everything. By the time the movie was over, there was not one person in that theater that wasn't crying. I don't think it had everybody in tears. Oh, come on, just okay. Next is Deadpool 2. I haven't seen this one since the theater. I had this one for a couple weeks. I need to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. There's been so much stuff going on lately that I just hadn't had a chance to watch it, but I plan on watching it before too long. Okay. Next is 2005's Fantastic Four. I was not a huge fan of this one. I thought it was okay. Not one of my favorite my favorite Marvel movies and everything, and I actually didn't really care for Chris Evans in this movie. He kind of annoyed me as the Human Torch and everything. It wasn't really necessarily his acting. I think it was just more the character annoyed me. And then there's Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Another one, like I said, like the first one, I'm not real crazy for the Fantastic Four movies, but I think they're alright. And then this one was pretty good. I will say that I do think the cast in these are pretty good for the most part. And like I said, Chris Evans did annoy me as Human Torch, but I think it was just the character himself, not really Chris Evans. And then Fan Four Stick. Now, I actually am the 1% out of the 99% of people that in the world, 99% people I know hate this movie. And I know there's a lot that haven't even seen it and refuse to see it. And I can understand why. I'm not too familiar with Fantastic Four, but I know enough from the comics and stuff to know how inaccurate this is and everything, and I understand why people hate it. But I think it's an okay movie. I got it for free. That's the reason why I even have it. And I watched it and I was like, it's not as bad as I expected, but and everything. I made a much bigger deal about liking it when I watched it because I didn't expect to like it at all. But I think it's an alright movie. And then I got Ghost Rider. This is the extended cut. I don't have the theatrical cut, but it's a pretty good movie. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say. I was in high school when this movie came out, and it was pretty good movie. And then there's Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. I hated this movie. I think this is probably my least favorite Marvel movie out of all the ones that I've seen and everything. It's just not a very good movie. I just mainly have it to go with my collection, really. I'll watch it if I watch the first one, though. I usually never skip any of these movies. If I'm marathoning through them or anything, I never skip them, even if I don't care for them. Okay, now, the rest of them are MCU. First is Iron Man. One of my favorites of the MCU. He's my favorite character and everything. Then The Incredible Hulk, my least favorite of the MCU. I just didn't care for Edward Norton as Bruce Banner and everything. Like I said, part of it I think does have to do with me liking Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner more, and part of it I think also is my love for the 2003 movie as well. Then we've got Iron Man 2. Another one I think is kind of underrated. I don't think it deserves the hate and everything that it gets. The first Thor movie. I like this one quite a bit. I don't think it's extremely great, but it's still a good movie. Captain America: The First Avenger. Really enjoyed this movie. Because of Fantastic Four, I didn't want to see Chris Evans as Captain America, and I was actually really mad when I found out that he was going to be playing Captain America, but yeah, I think he ended up doing a really good job and everything. I can't picture anybody else playing him now. The first Avengers movie, still one of the best and everything. I remember when this movie came out, it felt epic watching it for the first time. Iron Man 3. This was one I was with a lot of people when this movie came out that I hated it because of the Mandarin twist and everything, but after rewatching it a few times, it's grown on me, and I actually enjoy it quite a bit more now than I used to. In fact, it used to be my least favorite of the Iron Man trilogy, and now it's actually my second favorite after the first movie. The Thor: The Dark World. I think this movie's a little underrated. I don't think it deserves as much of the hate as it gets, but I understand a lot of the criticism it gets. The villain is terrible and everything. Malekith is a terrible villain. And I've got Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Really good movie. I don't think it's quite as good as a lot of people say, because I know a lot of people say it's the best MCU movie so far. And I guess I can understand why they say it and everything. I just don't really think it's the best. It's not the worst either, though. Definitely not the worst. Guardians of the Galaxy. One of my favorite ones. Like most people, I didn't even know who these characters were or anything before this movie came out. And I absolutely fell in love with the characters in the movie when I saw them the first time. This is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Another one that I think gets too much hate. I think it's pretty underrated. There are things I don't like about it, like the Hulk and Black Widow relationship. I think that's kind of stupid and everything. But besides that, the movie itself I don't think it was that bad, and I think people just had their expectations way too high after the first Avengers, which is understandable and everything, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then Ant-Man. I think it was a pretty good movie. It's kind of underrated. Um, even though I actually do rate it lower in the list than I really should, I still enjoy it quite a bit, and think it's a lot better than a lot of people let on it. It's a smaller scale movie and everything. I think that's why it doesn't get as much love and stuff as some of the other MCU movies. And then Captain America: Civil War, which is in my top 3 favorites of the MCU. I think. Well, actually, it's not top 3, but it's top 5. Great movie. And then I have Doctor Strange. This is another one. This is actually my second least favorite MCU movie. I like Benedict Cumberbatch and I like the character, but I just don't really care for this movie very much. I think it has potential to have really good sequels, and I did like him in the character in Infinity War and stuff. I just wasn't really crazy for his origin story. And then I got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Another one that I think is kind of underrated. I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets, but there are things about it that I don't like some of the... Most of the humor I like in it, but some of it I think is kind of mean-spirited, and I don't like the way they... Like, Baby Groot gets abused, and some of the stuff that Drax says to Manus I think is kind of really mean. But besides that, I don't mind the movie very much. Then I got Spider-Man Homecoming, which is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. It's not one of my most favorite MCU movies because there's a lot of continuity issues, but as far as the movie itself goes, I like it quite a bit. Then I have Thor Ragnarok. Great Thor movie. It's the best in the trilogy, personally, to me. I think most people would agree. And everything. I hate that they finally got Thor right and everything with this movie, and now that he's almost done with Chris Hemsworth is almost done with the MCU. I hate that it took so long to get the character so right, but I loved this movie. Then Black Panther, the biggest surprise of the year for me. I just love this movie. I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people think it's overrated and stuff, but I think it's great, and I think it deserves the Oscar nominations it got and everything. And the ones that it won for, I think, were deserving too. And Avengers: Infinity War, which is easily my favorite MCU movie. It's epic and one of the most epic movies, and I'm pretty sure Endgame's gonna even be more epic, but I just love this movie. And then my last one, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I wasn't huge on this movie when it first came out, but I did like it and everything when I saw it the first time, but I like it a lot more now than I did when I saw it in the theater and everything. But oh yeah, I forgot I have one more DVD. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm not really for sure what this is. It's X-Men, Astonishing X-Men Unstoppable. I think it's an animated movie, but I'm not for sure. I haven't watched it yet though. But anyway, that's my my Marvel collection, not just MCU. That's all of my Marvel movies and TV shows and stuff. I also have I'm planning on doing a video showing off my DC stuff sometime. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if there's any other collections that I have that you want to ask if I have to show off. I'll do it. Just let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you everybody, and have a good day.